crap. Let's see. Why? Trying to invite you. Why is it? Let's see. Yeah, hey Ricky, can you see can you request to join in? It's not giving me an option. No. Let's see. Hold on. Yeah, I see you're here, but I can't invite you. Can't invite you in. Can you? Oh. All right. We're having problems right now because I have no invite button for him. Um. Okay. What kind of phone do you have, Ricky? This doesn't make sense. Yes, Jody, he's on my friends list. I don't know. Hold on. We should have done a test run. Well, good evening, everybody. But I was trying to get Ricky on here. What we might have to try to do, Ricky, is you start it and then see if I can come in yours. Because there's no option for you. Wait a second. There we go, Ricky. It's working now. I just invited you, Ricky.
Hey, it worked.
Thank you, dog. I got yours. Yeah, some reason it wouldn't do right away. So,
Oh, it's all good.
but hey, White.
Hey, thanks for doing this, brother. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Now I'm gonna try to invite everybody. Everybody share and invite, share and invite. But I guess you could start talking about the story, and I can invite. I'll try to invite everybody on my list. Try to get a lot of people on here so we can get this out.
Okay. Okay. Well, hey guys, for those of you that don't know, my 15-year-old son, Nevin, he was visiting his grandparents down in Goldendale, Washington. That's in Klickitat County. He was surrounded by 10 to 15 other teenagers, and he got viciously beat by this kid to the point where he almost died because he had to go to the hospital and have surgery. But his surgery date was postponed because the swelling was so bad that they had to put him in ICU. And the doctor told me that if we operate, Nevin could die. So the bottom line is, guys, this town of Goldendale and Klickitat County, the whole thing is corrupt. I have a live video where my wife Jessie and I had went to the courthouse. Now get this, guys. The prosecuting attorney and 4 sheriff's deputies surrounded my wife and said that she was causing a scene, all because she asked for a copy of a piece of paper. Can you believe that? He came outside. He came outside of his courtroom, his courthouse, and he told us that we were delusional and that we need to just be grown-ups and go home and forget about the whole thing. Well, I posted the police report, guys. It says right in the police report that Adam Black erased the video. Well, where I come from, that's called destruction of evidence. That's obstruction of justice. And we told the sheriff's deputies and we told the prosecutor in their face that there was a video, and they called us delusional. Well, the reason why is my wife and I, we went to White Salmon, Washington, which is about 55 miles outside of Goldendale. That's where the records are held at the sheriff's department. The records clerk accidentally gave us that police report because apparently now there's a new law where nobody gets the police report if it's a minor. So they gave that to us on a technicality. It was a good thing that I got it. But the point is, now if this happens again down there in Klickitat County, none of the parents are allowed to get, basically just covering up. You know, they're gonna keep covering up. My son could have died, and this kid Lucas Black, he will kill somebody the next time he does this. And I don't say if or when, because he will do it again. He got away with it. So they basically told him, hey, son, there's no consequences for your action. And my son was basically told, tough shit. Go, who cares? Nobody cares. I called the FBI headquarters. We've contacted the Department of Justice. I called the attorney general of my state. I called the governor. The governor of my Washington state said, Klickitat County are all elected officials who basically look after their own citizens. But they're not following state law. That's what we were talking about in our live video. There's 2 RCWs, which is first degree assault, second degree assault. Second degree assault is if there's any bones broken. My kid's whole freaking jaw was broken. It also says that if there's any long-term, lifelong lasting effects, that will be first degree assault. Well, he has lifelong lasting effects because he has metal plates in his jaw forever. So anybody out here can answer me, why will they let this happen? Why will they not investigate? Why is it okay to destroy evidence? Why is there no obstruction of justice? I'm just as baffled as you guys are. If anybody, can enlighten me, I would appreciate it.
Yeah.
It just makes me sick, man, because the doctor told me my son could have died. This should be attempted murder. This kid Lucas, he punched my son he sucker punched him right here, broke his jaw. My kid hit back in self-defense, and he hit him on this side of his jaw, broke both sides of his jaw, slammed him into a tree, slammed him on the ground, and got on top of him and started beating the piss out of him. It took an 18-year-old man to pull Lucas off. And I heard through the grapevine that it was really hard for this 18-year-old to get Lucas off. Lucas is twice the size of my son. And the other family has threatened me online. They've told me I'm not welcome in their town. They told me to bring it. Well, we did go to their town. I walked all up and down their street screaming, justice for Nevin. When do we want it? We want it now. Everybody drove by and just looked at me. I was on Facebook Live. The pussy-ass sheriff's department down there surrounded my wife. 4 guys surrounded her. You know why they surrounded her, guys? Because we went in there with live Facebook Live, and they started freaking out. They say, you can't record us. And I said, this is my First Amendment. I can go live. Well, the lady wrote down on the message pad that my wife refuses to leave until she speaks to the prosecutor. That's not what she said. She says, we're going to be here a couple days, and I just want to give them 24-hour notice, which is a professional courtesy, to get back to us. Well, she wrote on the note that my wife refuses to leave. That's why the sheriffs came out, because they were creating something that wasn't there. Do you get it? So they were saying, you're causing a scene. They were basically going to arrest us just because we were asking questions. I think the elected officials are worthless. Something needs to be done in America, man. And I get a lot of flack lately because I'm not into the whole MAGA thing right now. I'll just be honest with you guys. I know everybody loves Trump, and I know we want to make America great again. But if we live in a country where your kid could almost be killed and nobody does anything about it, nobody, and then they attack me, and people come out here with these keyboard warriors come out here on Facebook, and they say, they attack me, say it's my fault. Hey, your kid had it coming. All this stuff I've heard, all because I'm trying to get justice for my son. What would any other father do? In my live video, I was walking around the town, I was cussing, and people say, well, you just look like an asshole because you're walking up and down the street cussing. Why? Because I'm pissed off, guys. What would you do if it was your kid? I was in the hospital when my son told me, I just want to go to heaven. He couldn't talk because his whole mouth was shut. He wrote on a pad. He kept writing, I want to go to heaven. I want to go to heaven. I want to go to
Hmm.
heaven. Because the
Wow.
pain was so bad. He didn't want to live anymore. And then these elected officials tell me that I'm delusional and I need to grow up and just go home and forget about it. In America, guys, in the United States of America. You know, stuff like this happens in Iraq. Stuff like this happens in China every day. I feel like I live in China right now, man. I feel like I live in a communistic country. I really do. Because I tried everything I can to get justice. I've tried to get an attorney. That's why we started the GoFundMe page. We have a GoFundMe page. I have a group called Justice for Nevin. And there's a page on there called Justice for Nevin. There's a GoFundMe page. The prosecutor even told me and my wife, you guys just started that GoFundMe page to get money. No, we started the GoFundMe page to get an attorney. But they don't let you just say that on GoFundMe. You know, GoFundMe will let all kinds of other things go down, but they don't want that. We need an attorney to try to sue because it's obvious this whole county is corrupt. You guys watch in the next year or two, keep an eye on Klickitat County, Goldendale, Washington, and something you'll see this will happen the next time. Somebody will do it again. Lucas will do it again, man. He gets off on it, man. He's a predator. And basically the prosecutor, the cops, the sheriff, everybody, his mom, his grandma, they all said, "Good job, Lucas. You broke that kid's jaw. Good job." And you're not going to have to face any consequences for it. You know, we teach our kids from when they're little that if you make a bad decision, you have to pay the consequences. Well, guess what, guys? In Klickitat County, Lucas Black doesn't have to face any consequences. And they say, don't say his name because he's a minor and this and that. Well, guess what? It's a police report. His name's in there. It's public record now. So they want to threaten to sue me. They want to threaten me and my wife's life. They want to threaten to arrest us. You don't act like that unless you're guilty. They erased a video. They confirmed with Adam Black, who's Lucas Black's father, that they did erase the video. They were claiming my son's racist. They claim my son threatened their son. Well, if there's a video out there of all this, don't you think they would want that video to show everybody what really happened? But guess what? They erased the video because they know their son was in the wrong. That's why they erased the video. But the problem is the prosecutor, his name is David Quisnell. You can look him up. He's a public official. He's right there in Goldendale. I'll post his phone number. David Quisnell in Klickitat County, Washington said, "I'm the boss. I made the decision that your son was in the wrong. You're delusional." And he did this too in the live video. He pointed his finger at me like this. He goes, "You're delusional and you just need to grow up and go home and forget about this." That's the story, man. I mean, I don't know what else I could say. I put the police report out there today because we weren't even supposed to have it. It was just a technicality why we even got the thing in the first place.
Hmm.
That's why when we went down to Goldendale, it's 4.5 hours from where I live. When me and my wife drove down there, that's why they acted like that. That's why they said they were going to arrest us. That's why they were trying to threaten us. You get it? They didn't want us to tell anybody. Now, here's how funny this little town is. So while my wife was asking for this piece of paper, the news reporter comes walking over. He says, "Oh, I heard something's going on at the courthouse." And this is the same guy who basically just villainized my family again with the news story that he released. Because in the very first sentence, it says that a fight at the Klickitat County Fair spills onto social media to sway opinion. Hey guys, when there's broken bones and 10 days in the hospital, 2 days in ICU, there's no more opinion at that point. That's facts. It really happened. They covered it up. They let Lucas get away with it. David Quisnell, all those sheriffs, they're all crooked, man. Every single one of them. You guys can look it up. Klickitat County. You know, we wrote hashtag end Quisnell corruption. We drove through their whole town. And the cops looked right at us, man. You know, me and my wife thought he was going to follow us and pull us over. But guess what? You can't pull us over. We were exercising our First Amendment. We were asking why they're not pressing charges. And they made it look like my wife was doing something and creating a scene when all she wanted was the piece of paper because she had that lady. You know, the lady says, "I'm not allowed to release anything without checking with David first because he's the boss." Well, according to the records clerk in White Salmon, that piece of paper was public knowledge. That's why the sheriff's deputy had to go ahead and give it to my wife anyway. Now here's another problem, guys. Randy Wells on the police report, he was the responding sheriff's deputy. Okay, now he corroborated with three other witnesses in that police report with the last name of Wells because he's related to them. Paige Wells works for Darlene Williamson. Darlene Williamson is Tia Williamson Black's mother, this is Lucas Black's grandkid and grandmother. So the sheriff's deputy's sister works for her at the Hot Rod Bar. So he should have recused himself automatically from the investigation because it was a conflict of interest. But guess what, guys? I wasn't supposed to have the police report. Do you get it? I wasn't supposed to have this police report. They were just going to sweep this under the rug, man. That's why they kept telling us, just go away, just go away. You guys just need to go away. Well, we're gonna email the DOJ and the FBI every day until somebody does something. I've been calling the news ever since this happened, man. I got out of the hospital. My son was in there he got out on the 4th of September. He went in on the 26th of August. He was in there 10 days. And as soon as we got home and he got out of the hospital, I started my social media campaign trying to get justice. And to this day, not one news organization has said the story. Like I said, the only one that did was the Goldendale Sentinel newspaper, and they basically just wrote everything they wanted to make us look bad and to villainize us even further. The fact of the matter is, our son almost got killed in their county, and their sheriff's department, their police department, their prosecutor are all corrupt, and we know they're corrupt because we weren't supposed to have the police report. They called us delusional. How can you be delusional when it's in black and white? In fact, Deputy Bianche, in our live video, he says, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard of this. And I was like, it was humorous to me because it's like, your name's on the police report. What do you mean you don't know anything about it? Well, guess what? I wasn't supposed to have that police report. That's why they said my wife was causing a scene. So they would have the right to arrest us. Do you get it? And who knows what would happen once they arrest us? You know, people die in jail all the time, you know. Oh, he died. I don't know what happened. You know, don't be surprised if you get treated like that. You know, the Bundys right now are sitting in prison. You know, Trump has the power to pardon them. He can pardon the Bundys. You know, Trump has the power to intervene with my situation and get rid of these elected officials and change laws because it wasn't just for Nevin, guys. I want to protect all the kids of Goldendale, man. All the kids of Klickitat County, because there's other kids that live there that the next time Lucas gets a hard on for one of them, he's going to attack them next. And guess what? They'll just sweep it under the rug. Now you can't even get the police report at all if you're a minor because they said that they passed a new law down there where the parents are no longer allowed to see this stuff. So if your kid gets beat up in Klickitat County, you can't even see the police report anymore. Why do you think that is, guys? So David Quisnell can continue being corrupt. That's why. You know, we stopped. The other disturbing thing is this just came out, man, almost 2.5 months later. I stopped at Nevin's grandparents' shop. They have a shop called Clark's Floral. It's a flower shop there in Goldendale. Kenny, he didn't even want to be on camera. He ran for me, man. I ran into his shop. But we did get some information before he ran that Nevin basically sat at their house for 4 hours before anybody took him to the hospital because they were too busy at their flower shop. The sheriff told me that he told Nevin's cousin to take him to the hospital. Well, she dropped him off at his grandma's house and left. And Nevin sat there with his whole, not just this jaw side, but this side and this part. The way the doctor and the surgeon described it, he had 3 floating plates. So basically his whole mouth was broken. And he sat there at his grandma and grandpa's house in pain for 4 hours before they even bothered to take him to the hospital because they were too busy with their flower shop.
Yeah, I've been watching some of your lives, so I've been getting bits and pieces of the story. What's the name? Somebody messaged me and asked me what was the name of the city again that you're in.
It's called Goldendale, Washington.
Yeah, and I saw somebody's talking about maybe have a rally. I'm all the way down in Florida, but if we could, if somebody wants to work with me, we could do a rally up there.
Well, I do have one that's planned for the 5th. I didn't know what date to pick. I picked February 5th. But here's the problem: the newspaper mentioned the rally. It's a Justice for Nevin rally, and the way they worded it was Mr. Ellsworth is going to show up with all his supporters, is how they keep putting it. You know, my Facebook friends are supporters. He's going to show up with all his supporters to secure justice. I mean, the way that's worded, that doesn't sound good. You know, that doesn't sound good at all. We have the First Amendment to have a rally. We have the right to protest. But apparently in that town, you don't have the right to even ask a question.
So that's you said in February?
February 5th I picked that date like a couple weeks ago. You know, I didn't know what date would work the best. I was just thinking maybe after Christmas, after the holidays. You know, that way we can stand in front of the courthouse with our signs. You know, me and my wife wrote hashtag Justice for Nevin, hashtag end Quizznell corruption on our Yukon, just with that window paint that washes right off. You know, we can make signs. We can just walk around. You know, because think about it, guys. Just me and my wife went down there, and they sent they sent the Goldendale news reporter over there to the courthouse because they said something was happening at the courthouse. You better go check it out. And all it was my wife asking for that piece of paper.
Wow.
So can you imagine if 100 of us showed up for a rally?
Do you have a rally? Do you have an event rally set up, or you just?
Yeah, I have it. I have it already set up that I've shared.
All right, then I'll have to.
It's February 5th.
Yeah,
I shared it from the.
Yeah, give it to me. I'll have to go look at it, and then I can get. We'll start sharing it, and if we can, get people interested in it now, which is good. That's
right.
It's good. It's a couple months away, and after all the holidays, especially.
Right.
Yeah, we can try to get a bunch of people together up there, and.
Okay.
Like Randy,
now I'm Zuck. Oh, go ahead, bud.
Yeah, Randy Bird's on here, and we're dealing with his 3-year-old daughter fell from a preschool playground. I'm bringing him on at 8, and we've been bringing this to light too, so he understands. You can't get nowhere. I mean, it's crazy. These people
That's
are
horrible.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's nuts. I mean, deal with these kids. I mean. And somebody's asking how old your son was.
He's 15.
Yeah, and he was at the fairgrounds at the fair.
Yep, he was at the fair.
Yeah.
And get this, guys, he was home alone with the broken jaw, and his brothers got kicked out of the fair because Kendrick, that's my 14-year-old boy. Darlene Williamson was lying to the cops. That's Lucas's grandmother. So the cousin who's an adult, the one that dropped my son off, she said, you better go over there and tell him. I was wondering why she didn't go over there and just tell him. She's the adult, you know what I mean? So Kendrick went over there and said, hey, you're not telling the truth, and the cops told him to get out of there. He said some not choice words to her, but hey, he had to watch the holy crap get beat out of his brother. And then the cops kicked them out of the fair. They let Lucas stay so he could show his fair pig.
Yeah, I don't know what I would have done either.
I mean, we went down there. We tried to get them to press charges, and they just tried to arrest us just for asking questions. So, other than, getting Trump involved directly, or, we've been emailing the DOJ every day, man. I haven't heard nothing. Because I call the state attorney general. He says, you need to contact the DOJ. I called the FBI. I mean, I've been tweeting, anybody I can think of, Fox News, Hannity. I've sent Hannity and Judge Pirro, anybody you can think of, guys. Tucker. I've sent people messages. I've called people. Basically, this is the country we live in now, man.
Yeah, they're too worried about stupid news. They're worried about stupid news, not because I've been trying to get about Melissa trying to call Fox News about that. I'm like, y'all need to go. Here's some real news about a 3-year-old that fell. I mean, but yeah, they don't return calls or nothing.
Well, that's the narrative, man. They want to push their fake news. They don't want to report real stuff with our children. It all comes down to our kids. Nobody's protecting our children.
Yeah, it takes us, we the people, voices to be heard for them, for the kids.
Right.
Because I've called up there, South Carolina, where Melissa's at, talked to a couple people. I said, "We the people are the voice for the kids," and they're like, "You're the voice." I said, "We the people, everybody." Because they're like,
Right. How is she doing, by the way?
she's doing good. I mean, they alrighty. I got sucked. Yeah, can anybody see me still? I don't know. Anybody on here? Can they still see me, or am I off? Yeah, that's right. Let me try to get him back in here. Where did he go? Holy moly! This is nuts, people. This is how bad they're fighting us. We get zucked. They throw him off. I can't even invite him back in. Let's see. Where's he at? See, right here. Let's try this again. You're not stopping us. That's all I know.
Sorry about that. That was my Wi-Fi. Sorry about that. My phone cut out for a minute.
Why didn't?
It was the Wi-Fi.
Well, it should
It's
have
kind of
been your.
spotty.
Well, your end should have been, but my end just went haywire because I must have triggered a word. We the people must have been the word triggered.
Right?
I'm surprised I didn't get zucked. I'm surprised it didn't go. I thought I was going to shut down completely.
Exactly. I didn't know. What, yeah, I figured we were just getting sucked just now.
We were. I don't know how we didn't. um, I don't know if he answered. I don't know if he answered why we were going. Why that happened, but like we'll be back on at 8 with him to get more detail. But what he told me was it's been 4 weeks. She's finally getting the the right doctors. They're checking everything. Finally, the right stuff that needs to be checked. 4 weeks later. I mean, that whole
And
situation.
she's only 3?
She's 3. I don't know. I don't know if you know much about it, but she was on the playground.
I haven't. I'm going to have to watch the next one.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, because we can have him like get on there and tell about it. But yeah, it's talk about messed up. They haven't shut down that preschool yet. They haven't done nothing, and now finally getting looks like the right care for her 4 weeks later, and that's head trauma. She had head trauma. She has night terrors and all that. I mean, she's lucky she's not hurt worse than she is.
Right. That's
So,
horrible, man.
but yeah, well, you can listen to that at around 8 o'clock. I think 8 o'clock we said Eastern.
Okay.
But yeah,
Kind of sounds like an epidemic.
yeah, is there any numbers that we can call right now? People could call.
If you do, you can. My phone, I can't like do 2 things at once, if that makes sense.
Don't do it because Zuckerberg will probably get you anyhow.
Yeah, he will. If you just Google Goldendale, Washington prosecutor's office, his number pops right up, his phone number, because he's an elected official, so all his information's public. Um, I just want to know why Randy Wells didn't recuse himself for, collaborating with witnesses who he's related to. The fact that there was a video and they didn't investigate further, that's obstruction of justice. Because this video, and here's the funny part. The other kid's family kept saying that Nevin started it and all this and that. But if they really wanted justice for their son, wouldn't they want everybody to see the video?
Yeah.
Right,
They were in your shoes, it'd be different.
right. So that's why they destroyed the video because they don't want the truth out there. You know, I believe that because that 18-year-old kid had to pull Lucas off, and Lucas is only 14. The dude's bigger, almost as big as me, man. I'm 6'3", 260, and it took an 18-year-old to pull him off. I believe if he would have hit Nevin one or two, three more times, we would be having a different story today than we're having now. I believe that. And apparently somebody else told us that there was a cop who was at the fair when it all happened. Nobody called an ambulance for my son, the sheriff. They didn't, they just told him, give him a ride home. He should have had an ambulance called for him, and he should have been brought to the hospital. But instead, he sat there for 4 hours because his grandparents were, they live a block away. That's how small this town is. So you're telling me in 4 hours, one of them couldn't come home and take Nevin to the hospital?
Wow. When I'm a grandparent, I would. I mean, especially.
Well, their flower shop's too important. They made that pretty clear when we were there the other day, because I was talking about it and he was telling me to be quiet because a customer walked in. So if that tells you anything, their flower shop's more important than their grandson.
Wow. Not with me. If I live to be a grandfather.
Cindy asked, why didn't they call an ambulance? That's a good question, Cindy. Because I'll give you my opinion, because they didn't care. They don't care. Nevin doesn't live there. If it was a citizen of Goldendale, they might have called an ambulance, and I say might.
Wow. Yeah, that's nuts how grandparents.
People are going to watch my live video. I have a live video, guys, where we went into the courthouse, and they're going to watch that, and they're going to say, well, this guy's kind of a jerk because he was walking around yelling at the town. What would you guys do after the prosecutor told you to leave and to go home, and after they bullied your wife? It's like, so you just want me to smile and say thank you, sir, and just walk away? That's what he was expecting me to do?
Wow.
Lucas's family threatened us. Other people messaged me on Facebook that are her friends, because I keep my whole profile public now. I used to have it on friends only, but now I keep it all public because I don't care who's watching. And her friends are messaging me, you better not come to our town. You're not welcome. So we wrote hashtag not welcome, hashtag justice for Nevin. And we drove all up and down Klickitat County. We drove through the town of Lyle. We drove through White Salmon. White Salmon, that's about almost to Portland, Oregon from Spokane. That's where we live. We didn't care. We wanted answers, and we got the answers. The David Quisnell is corrupt. And if you Google a story, there's I got the link. I can share it again. But I found a article from 3 years ago when Quisnell was running for prosecuting attorney, and the person he was running against, he claimed that they weren't doing their job. Well, guess what? Klickitat County has the worst rating in the whole state of Washington because they don't ever arrest anybody. They don't ever, nobody ever gets in trouble. They had the worst rating in the whole state. Okay? And now Quisnell, all he's doing is continuing their F rating performance. So I'm telling you guys, Lucas is going to do it again. And next time he's going to kill a kid down there. And nobody will even know about it because they'll just cover it up. Because now, Quisnell, they said there's a new RCW that in the future, when a kid gets involved in something like this, they're not going to release the police report if it's a minor. So you tell me what kind of law that is. That sounds like a law to protect David so they can do this and get away with it.
Wow.
They're all friends, man. They're all friends. The sheriff, the prosecutor, the reporter for the newspaper, everybody's friends. And they don't care. I asked Sheriff Bob Songer, he's supposed to be a constitutionalist. He comes out on our live video like he's going to help. Well, he just pissed me off, man, because he ain't doing shit. He's an elected official. He's supposed to protect and serve. The only person he's protecting and serving is David Quisnell, and he even said it. He said, "Well, he's my boss." David said I'm the boss. I'm not an attorney. I don't know the law, but I know that a sheriff's deputy doesn't answer to a prosecuting attorney. That just sounds pretty messed up. Sounds like you can't even write stuff like this for a movie.
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to get a news organization to tell the story, but like you say, they don't care, man. That's why
No.
Fox won't return calls on your friend's story because they don't care about us.
If I could get them on the phone, I'd say, hey, we got two stories now. If you wait any longer, it could have a handful of stories because the
Right.
whole
Well,
it's all becoming corruptness. It seems like everywhere you turn around.
yeah, but we were supposed to drain the swamp, remember? I mean, people say don't say that. Don't say anything bad about Trump. I said something about Trump negative, and people unfriend me and block me. It's like fucking go for it. Sorry for my French. I didn't, It's
Yeah.
like block me then because wait till you're in my shoes. Wait till your kid gets attacked and everybody you contact just say just go away. Don't worry about it. Your son's fine. He's not dead. Don't worry about it. You know?
Yeah.
If my kid wasn't illegal, they would have this would have been front page news. If he was transgender, this would have been front page news. Because the news even asked, KXLY there in Spokane when I called about a month and a half ago, almost 2 months ago. I said if they could report the story. First, the guy goes, well, what color is your son? I said, he's white. And he goes, well, what color was the other kid? I said, white. He goes, oh, well, we'll get back to you. And, I'm looking at my watch. That was like 2 months ago. I hate to say that, that's just the truth. I'm just saying the truth. If my son was illegal or something, they would have probably done a story on it, but they don't care. If your son's kid was a different, they would have done something. And I made a video about it called Fried Chicken because this was about a month ago, but a story of fried chicken made the news. Somebody threw a piece of fried chicken in a lady's car, and that made the news.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They want to. Most of the stuff on the news is stupid crap. It doesn't need to be on there. Like, especially that fried chicken story. I mean, what's that got to do? Well, I know your story and Melissa's story should be all over the news. I mean, I'm sure there's probably others that haven't, come out.
Right. Well, and I hate to say it, brother, but I think unfortunately the stories won't get out there. Unfortunately, I just believe that because they don't want the stories out there. I know the Goldendale police are doing something wrong when here about 2 weeks ago on their Twitter, you guys can go to their Twitter, Goldendale Police Department, they blocked me from commenting. Why would you do that? Why would you block somebody from commenting?
Yeah, because they don't hear the truth.
Right. Well, they don't want bad publicity for that town. Because like I said, my wife asked for a piece of paper and the news reporter was running across the street to find out what the ruckus was at the courthouse.
Yeah, Martha's right, That kid didn't get in trouble, but you try to put bacon on Moscow and the Muslims and you'd be going to jail.
You'd be going to prison. Well, look at the Bundys, man. They were just trying to protect their land,
They didn't hurt nobody, and this guy about killed your son. I mean, if that person didn't pull him off, yeah, he probably would have killed him.
Well, and not only that, but my son wasn't out of the woods even after that, because like I said, when we took him to the hospital, at that point in time, the swelling was so bad, they said, we can't open him up, he'll die. So he sat there for 2 days in the intensive care unit, and then he finally had a surgery, and these people in Goldendale say, oh, it's no big deal, it's just a bone, He had a full reconstructive surgery to his whole face with a team of plastic surgeons. That's not just a simple, they're trying to make it sound like it was no big deal. 6 hours is a long time to be under, And here a couple of weeks ago, all the metal braces, he had to go and get those taken off. Well, they had to put him under again for another hour. So that's the second surgery that he had to have because of this. And now his chin is still numb, okay? And he's having memory issues. He can't remember things. He keeps asking me the same question. I got a doctor's appointment with a neurologist, and the soonest they could get him in Spokane, Washington, is in December. So you see how much, you see how, it's nobody cares, man. That's just how I feel. Nobody cares. It's not a big deal. Then his mom tries to tell me, oh, he can't have brain damage because it was his jaw that was broken. Well, you do realize when you're hitting the head, when you're hitting the jaw, it's still a part of your head and it jostles your brain around. We don't know how bad he was jostled around because we weren't there. It happened at her parents' house. And from day one, they've been quiet. From day one, his mom, in the beginning, she was lying to me. She was saying, oh, I talked to the prosecutor and I did this and that. And I prayed that Randy Wells would be on the case because Randy's a good guy and he just wants the truth. Well, guess what? Randy's such a great guy that he collaborated with his own niece and sister on the police report. The cops told my kids to go away. This is grown folks' business. They didn't even take statements for my side of the family. And they kept calling Nevin that Clark kid. It's in the police report. Nevin's last name's Ellsworth. He's not even a Clark. So why would they put him in that category? So here's the real thing. Alicia has a brother named Noah Clark who's a drug addict, piece of crap. I think that's who the Blacks and Williamsons are really mad at, and they took it out on my son, thinking he's a Clark kid. He's not a Clark kid. You see my point? Because people even called him that in the police report, the witnesses. Oh, well, that Clark kid started it. The prosecutor just told us to leave. He says, this is done. It's over with. I made the decision. Your son started it. Lucas hit him twice, and that's justifiable. Well, he's wrong, and that's what we were trying to tell him because we looked up the RCWs for first degree and second degree assault. Anytime there's a bone broken, it's automatic second degree assault, self-defense or not. It's automatic. And I told him that. And he put his finger in my face and said, you're delusional. You're delusional. I've made the decision. I'm the boss. He made it pretty clear who the boss was of Klickitat County. That's not just Goldendale. There's another town called Lyle. There's another town called Wishram, another town called White Salmon. They're all in his county. There's even a town called Klickitat, which is in his county. And he's the boss of everybody. He made that pretty clear.
Yeah.
He
forgot. Boss. He forgot that he works for us. We the people.
Well, but we the people are just delusional, and we just need to forget about it and go home.
Nope. That's why we can, try to get a big turnout for that event and show him.
Right. That would be great if we could. Like I said, me and my wife went there just by ourselves. I walked around all up and down town. I walked right by Lucas's grandma's bar and right by his mom's salon on Facebook Live. Because they threatened me and they called me a keyboard warrior. And I said, well, the keyboard warrior's here. I'm here. 4 sheriff deputies just surrounded my wife and threatened her, all because she asked for a piece of paper. If you guys watch the video, there was another good brother on there, Samuel, that I ran into just walking through the alley. And he's telling me, he's like, yeah, you got to be careful in this town. And he starts telling me all this stuff, man, about this town. He got arrested just for asking a guy a question at the newspaper. This guy, Samuel. Yeah, he went to jail for 2 days. He says, yeah, you got to be careful in this town.
Really good guy. So yeah, they might have America, a jail. They might have a jail full of people. We get a whole bunch of us up there.
Their jail's not that big, man.
What are they gonna do?
They'll hold us outside.
So how's he doing now, your son?
Well, he's alive. Let's say that. I thank God that he's alive. He didn't die, but like I said, he still has numbness in his chin. He says, I still can't feel my chin. And the surgeon told us that could last forever. Okay. He still, he understands why the metal's there, but he still doesn't understand why it's never going to come out. He doesn't understand that stuff's never going to come out. It has to stay in your jaw, bud. And the thing that really bothers me is he texted me the other day that he said, "Well, Lucas got away with it, Dad. Let's just forget about it." And you know what? That's his mom talking. His mom has him thinking that we should just go away. She hasn't done anything from day one. I've been the one. Me and my current wife Jessie. She has a live video she did too, talking about all this. We're trying to get justice. Her Alicia's parents, the Clarks, they're telling me to go away. And Kenny Clark, that's it. That's Nevin's granddad. Okay. I told him I was going to walk up and down the street, and he says, "If you do that, you'll get arrested." And I was in my car, man. He was telling me I better be quiet in my own car. Well, little does he know, I already walked around his town, and nobody arrested me because I didn't do anything wrong. Why would you be arrested just for walking around a town asking questions? Unless it's a corrupt town and nobody wants the truth out there. Being his grandparents, you would think that they would want justice, but they made him sit there for 4 hours. I didn't know that until the other day when we went down to Goldendale, guys. I was thinking this whole time that he was rushed to the emergency room right away. The fight happened at like 1 o'clock, okay, in the afternoon. At like 5 o'clock, he was at the hospital. That's 4 hours.
Wow.
With a whole broken face on both sides and the jaw, or excuse me, the chin. Everything, the way that the surgeon said in Portland, Oregon, you have 3 floating discs in there. So that means everything was broken. And he sat there. That's the part that disgusts me the most, is the fact that he sat there for 4 hours. And the sheriff deputy, they didn't even bother to call an ambulance for an injured kid. A kid got hit in the head, and they didn't even bother to call an ambulance.
That's nuts.
They kicked my kids out of the fair because they called the mother a liar. Lucas's mom a liar. Well, they're all buddies. We figured it out. Randy Wells, his sister works for Darlene at the bar. And my wife called before we went down there, the sheriff, and he goes, "Oh yeah, that's just how it works in small towns."
I don't think so. But yeah, you can keep us posted if you want on it. If you want, we can go live.
I will.
If you want, we can go live here and there or whenever,
Okay, I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody sharing. You guys have all been great sharing. I appreciate all that because that helps to get the story out there. It's obvious the news isn't going to print it. And like you say, we the people, brother. I believe that.
Yeah, I got that tattooed on my arm. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice, man.
Yeah, and then
I like
look,
that.
Lavoy.
Lavoy Finicum.
Yeah, on my hand, you can't cover it up. You can't cover it up because I live in Florida. We don't wear gloves. I mean, unless you do for work, for certain things for work. But other than that, I mean, it's like 80 degrees. Like 2 days ago, I had a jar of peanut butter in my car and it melted. It's so hot down here.
Very humid.
Yeah, that's why I put it on my hand. That way, you can never cover it up.
Right.
But yeah, so yeah, just everybody make sure you share and share to everywhere. Because that's the only way of getting this out.
There's a group called Justice for Nevin. If you guys want to join it, because we're talking about kids, guys, and right now I see people laughing, on the laugh emojis. They think it's funny when kids get hurt. That really shows you how sick this world is. There's people right here on this live feed laughing. They think it's funny. And I'm used to that stuff, bro. I've had so many people come out of the woodwork and talk trash to me on their keyboard. Your kid had this coming, and you're a bad father, and this and that. I've been threatened, and it's like, here I am, keyboard warriors. I'm right here.
Don't you love?
What else am I supposed to say? Yeah. People have attacked me from day one going to social media, and the only reason why I took it here was to try to get the story out. Instead, I just get attacked all the time by keyboard commandos. I just hope it doesn't happen to any other kid out there, man. I really do. I hope it doesn't happen anymore. Somebody's got to protect our children. Trump should set up a special task force just for that. U.S. Marshals, to go after and find people that are hurting kids. Because if nobody protects our kids, who's going to be around when we're all dead, brother? Who's going to run the country if all our kids are committing suicide and getting molested and getting killed? Look at the stuff that's going on with Hollywood. Charlie Sheen supposedly did something with Corey Haim. The more I dig into this, brother, I believe there's a lot of pedophiles in this world, and I believe that the world is evil, and evil's taken over, man. That's why people think this story's funny, because they're evil. That's why people laugh at me. Your kid's in the hospital. I had people laugh at my kid's ICU picture that I had posted. People would laugh at it, and that's just the world we're living in. We might as well get used to it.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the only thing we can try to do is protect our kids, because
We have to protect the kids, brother, because nobody else will.
and then like when we get older, who's gonna be taking care of us?
Exactly. But see, it doesn't seem like nobody gives a damn about our children. That's what's really frustrating. Because it's not just my kid or your friend's kid. There's a lot of kids out there. There's a lot of stories I'm uncovering, and it makes me sick to my stomach what's really going on in this country when it comes to our children.
Yeah. I mean, it's nuts. That's why. Yeah, found you, and I was watching you, some of your lives getting to pieces. That's why I was like, I'll just bring you in, get the whole
I
story.
really appreciate that, you doing that for me.
Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, I'm there for all the kids. I got two kids myself, so I mean, if something
Right.
happened to them, I'd want help. If the government's not doing nothing, the officials we elected in ain't doing their job. It takes
Mm-mm.
us, we the people, to do it.
You go to I got a Facebook page called Royal Purple Patriot Militia. I'm trying to get guys to stand up to protect our children. Us 3%ers, we the people, we're the only ones that are going to stand up and do it. We got to
Yeah,
protect our children. You see all the time, I got your six, I got your six. Well, who has our kids' six?
I do. I
And I
hope.
do too, brother.
Oh yeah, yeah. We need all the ones we can get.
That's what I really believe in now is we have to protect our kids, all of our kids.
Yeah, because if people come out, there's probably more stories like this that are, you know,
And we need to kind of like we all need to collaborate with one another. And, that's kind of why I have that group, Justice for Nevin. People can join, we can share stories, similar situations, you know, let our voices be heard because the elected officials don't want to hear it. So we did.
we're basic. It seems like we're in end times.
I believe that, man. It's just getting worse and worse every day,
Yeah,
you know?
like I was
And
so
I know
heated about.
evil. I know evil, brother. I was in Goldendale. I saw it. I saw the people walking around the town. You can see the evil in their eyes, you know? They don't like outsiders. You can tell.
Well, let's bring a whole bunch of us outsiders in there.
I really wish and hope and pray we can do that, brother.
Yeah, so I'll get on there, or invite me to your event, and then that way I can share. I mean, they're
Okay.
trying to I can at least share it. I mean, they're trying to shut me down. I have an event on the 18th down here, and let me invite some, and then now it's like, boop, nope, you can't invite nobody. So I have to share it,
Really?
share it. Yeah, all they're doing is trying to silence us. That's all they're trying to do.
Well, that goes against our civil rights, our First Amendment.
You know, So,
Well, thank you for sharing, everybody. I appreciate that. And once again, brother, I appreciate you helping me shed some light on this.
oh, you're welcome. And yeah, we'll have you come back in some more.
That sounds good.
All right. Anybody got any more questions? Any other questions before we go?
No, somebody just asked. My son is they're actually homeschooled, so they already are homeschooled. You know, he was at a fair and got victimized. So yeah, and George Anthony Keys, he was in Baltimore when the Freddie Gray stuff was going on and all their riots.
All right. Yeah, I don't. Well,
Yeah, I mean, I know you got your other video coming here in a few minutes. So I appreciate everybody sharing. If we can just get that shared out there and I'll share the event. I appreciate everybody's help. We greatly appreciate it.
yeah, and if you got any questions, you could PM him if you want.
Yeah, just PM me and I'll tell you any questions you have. And I see the friend requests. I got a bunch of friend requests just now on the video. So I'll go through those.
Yeah, every time you do a live, you get a friend request. I did one last night and then one at lunch, just a test, because this guy, they're silencing him. He can do everything on Facebook but do lives. I brought him in because that happened to me where I couldn't go live, but I could watch somebody's live and go in. And I got friend requests from there, so I just make sure, just because you never know.
Right. No, I hear you. I do. I appreciate it again, though. I really do. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. We're praying for him, and yeah, we're gonna get justice for him too.
We appreciate all the prayers.
So, alrighty. So I'm gonna get off here, and
All
then
right, brother.
I'll be getting on my next one in about 5 minutes. So,
Well, you have a good night, brother.
all right, you too. Be safe.
Thanks.
All right, bye.